Hey everyone, Devin with DMV Distributing in the background here. This is our last virtual Vino with DMV of 2020. Don't worry, we'll be having more in 2021, but this is the last for us of this crazy year that has been 2020. Up on screen, you will see the 4 amazing wines that we're going to be tasting tonight. This entire lineup is perfect for the snow day that I've been trapped in all day here in Maryland, as well as all of your upcoming holidays, no matter where you're located in the States here, East Coast, us Marylanders, or around the world. We might have some special guests from around the world tonight. We already have a special guest in the background from California that's here to pop by. One of our favorite special guests, Doug. But up on screen, you'll see the Masottina Brut, the Masottina Brut Cuvee Rosé, the Lion and Dove Moscato, and the Pocas Junior 10-year-old Tawny Port. So we will be tasting all 4 of these. You'll see in the picture the Masottina that we're going to be tasting first. So if you have it with you, go ahead and pop that bottle open, pour yourself a delicious glass of it as we get started tonight. So my first guest with us this evening is going to be my coworker, Alex. So we'll see here, so you can see our beautiful and smiling faces.
Just for a second.
Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm great, Devin. How are you?
Great. It's nice to see you. I'm glad that you stayed safe today, hopefully indoors. I know I got about 2 feet of snow here in Western Maryland already, so I don't know about yourself, but I did plop a bottle of wine in the yard. I was measuring with that, and I lost my wine bottle. So
well, we got about 2 inches of rain. That's about it.
Gotcha. So a little bit wetter over there. I don't know which I would prefer, but definitely not the sleet that's coming down now, I guess.
Yeah, easier to shovel snow.
Exactly. Now, we're going to show, guys, a quick slideshow for all of you. Like I said, we have Doug Heidinger in the background from Paris Valley Road. We're going to bring him on in just a minute. I want to show you guys this awesome slideshow that we put together. It's really quick. It features all of our awesome guests that have joined us with Virtual Vino this year. If you don't know, we started Virtual Vino with DMV at the end of March as a way to still connect with all of our great participating stores, restaurants, to even bring them more business by providing our 4 packs of wine. It started with 6 wines. We went down to 4 for the safety of all of my coworkers that would join me. I'm looking at you guys. They know who they are. But no, I'm just kidding. But the 4 packs, such a great idea. We've had such a blast all year. We're going to show you this quick slideshow. Hope you enjoy it. We'll be right back. We're going to speak with Doug. In the meantime, pour yourself a glass of the Masottina. It's our first wine that we'll be enjoying tonight. There we have it. Fun slideshow for you guys.
That was great. That was terrific.
A couple of funny clips in there. I also caught myself doing some really stupid things and spilling wine as I picked the clips. So enough about that. But we really want to thank everyone from the bottom of our hearts here at DMV Distributing for everybody, our special guest joining us. I'm going to add Doug on. We don't want to take up too much of his time, but it's 2020. There are no rules. This is our last virtual Vino of the year. So we just sent the link to a few of our awesome special guests that we've had from all over the world. So they might just pop in tonight. Who knows what will happen? We're drinking and we're going to pretend like it's Friday. Hey, Doug, how are you?
Good. How are you doing, Devin?
Great. It's so nice to see you. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. For those of you that don't know, Doug is the winemaker, the lead winemaker at Paris Valley Road. And I know that you guys recently opened your brand new, amazing and gorgeous tasting room there. How's it going?
It's going great. I mean, the support's been unbelievable. The food is amazing. It's kind of nothing like we are used to over here at Paso Robles. It's, the feedback's been great from the community. Everybody that's been coming through has been amazing. So very happy about that. It's still bright and sunny out here in California. Don't know anything.
Yeah, just rub it in, Doug.
Yeah, we just need a thermal skirt. That's about it,
That is awesome. You need about 10 layers here. And like I said, I lost a wine bottle in my yard earlier, but like Brandon mentioned, I'll find it in a couple of days when it melts.
But no, say thank you guys at DMV. Thank everybody who's been tuning in because, as much as fun as it is to make the wine and to be a winemaking process, it doesn't do any good if we don't sell it and we don't have, amazing people like you guys to enjoy it and to give feedback that we need to continue to push to, make things better. So thank you guys, everybody tuning in. And I hope you guys are enjoying all the wines and, nothing like a bottle of wine for the crazy year that we've had to help kind of make things mellow out.
Absolutely. And for those of you, we put in the comments there, Paris Valley Road's website to go and check them out. We also sell all of their wines throughout Maryland and DC. So find yourself a nice bottle of Paris Valley Road in one of your local stores, especially for this weekend. All of your holiday meals, they have a variety in just about every type of wine you like. They have it. We have it here in Maryland for you. Pair with your holiday. And I can't wait for my entire Christmas meal coming up. And I'll definitely pair a Paris Valley Road wine with it.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely, Doug. Well, we'll let you go, but thanks so much for joining us. Hope you have a glass of wine this evening. We'll drink one for you right now.
Did it. It's still beer 30 for us over here, but
Yeah. I know you guys probably have the Corona out there.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Austin Kiefer, I saw the shout out in the comment section. How's it going, buddy? Thank you appreciate you.
Absolutely. We'll see you in 2021, Doug. We can't wait to have you back on Virtual Vino.
No problem. I'll be there.
Cheers.
Good, thanks a lot.
I love Doug. So awesome. All of Paris Valley Road's wines, absolutely amazing. So go and check them out. We're not tasting any of their wines tonight, but it's so awesome that Doug could join us from California. Now, Alex, I'm going to let you get started with our Masottina. I know I made you wait to open the bottle, so I know Kathleen's in the background being stage manager. Like, come on, pour me a glass already. So
Stop talking, start pouring.
Stop talking, let's go. I'm in.
So our first wine, sparkling wine, is the Masottina Brut. And I'm going to go through a little bit about how to open the bottle. So of course, the first thing is you're going to find the little tab, which is always easy to do. You can or don't have to pull the foil off. I usually like to. And then this is important because there's going to be a lot of pressure in here. Put your thumb on top of the cork before you start loosening the cage. So put your thumb on the cork, pull the cage handle down and twist. 6 times will open the cage. And it's a good idea to keep the cage on when you're grabbing a hold of the cork. It just gives you a little more grip. But when you go to open the bottle, twist the bottle, hold on to the cork, twist it slowly as the cork starts coming out. And as you feel pressure on the cork, then you can ease it out. And we have a lot of people like to have the big pop. A lot of people like to have champagne flowing everywhere, but we didn't win the Grand Prix, so we're not going to do that.
Also, it's too good to spill it all over the table.
Yeah, and you don't want to spill it either.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You don't want it coming out like a geyser.
Then to pour a glass, and there are a couple of different glasses you can use. I think the most popular these days, at least, is a standard flute. Tip it a little bit, pour slowly, because it's a sparkling wine and you'll get a lot of sparkle. And if you get too much, you don't want to lose any over the top. And I would stop a couple inches from the top. And this will be important as we go on to taste the wine. But it's a little tough with the background that I have here, because it's kind of the same color background, to be honest with you. And I don't know if that helps at all, but the wine color is kind of a straw yellow. And we'll go through the 5 S's of tasting: see, swirl, sniff, sip, savor. And of course, we look at the tiny bubbles, which means it's going to stay more effervescent. It'll stay effervescent a lot longer than something that may have a larger bubble. So the swirl part, not so much with an effervescent, but you're not going to have a problem swirling in this type of glass. But there are a lot of people that like to use a standard wine glass just for that reason, so they can swirl a little. But I'm going to skip over that because I don't want to throw it all over myself and my wife. Give it a little sniff. And again, with a standard wine glass, you'd probably be able to smell a little better. But if you're drinking this, let me know what you smell before I even start with what I'm smelling. Why don't you let me know what you're smelling?
Alex, this is such a good choice to kick off this evening. I want to first tell everyone, Masottina, it's a 3rd generation family-owned winery. They've been open since 1946. So my grandmother was born in 1950. Hi, Nanny. She's always randomly watching. But this wine, it's 3rd generation owned. They absolutely put so much love and effort into this company. Made with Glera, your Prosecco grapes. But it's a really great dry sparkling wine that we're kicking off this evening with. So I hope that all of you have this wine. Like Alex asked, let him know what you're tasting with this. I think it's definitely one of my favorite Proseccos actually that I've ever tried. It's a 96-point Decanter rated wine. So as we all know, anything above a 90 is such a great, fantastic rating to have. This is 96. It retails in store for an average of $16.99. So less than $20. You can absolutely, this holiday season, show off with your family. Everyone loves this wine. Whether they like sweet or dry wine, this dry Prosecco is fruity enough where they're going to love it as well. They're not even going to bother even making mimosas and wasting it. They're just going to drink it as is.
Yeah, so if for those of you who like a sweeter Prosecco, this would still appeal to you because it has a nice fruity taste, but it does have a nice dry taste for those of you who like a drier sparkling. One of the other things, and Devin brought up that it was 96 points. Also, a couple of years ago, it placed first in the Effervescent du Monde, which is translated as Sparklings of the World. It's an annual event held in France, November, around that time of year. And Masottina placed first. There's a list of the top 10 gold medalists, and Masottina was on top. So if you haven't tried it, you better buy a couple of bottles because the first one's going to go down really easily. And then the next couple will be easily as well. Yes, right.
just as easy. Now, Alex, as everybody's letting us know what you guys are thinking, I see Jess, she loves the citrus that she smells. There are definitely a lot of floral notes. We do have another special guest that has joined us. Alex, I think you might know her as well. Let me add her on here. We'll see if she has wine. Oh, hello. How are you?
Of course I have wine, and I actually have one that I discovered because of you guys. It's the Amore Red Blend.
Oh, and you're
Oh,
still
nice.
loving it.
I'm still loving it. I'm still an amore.
So everyone, this is Kasha White from Capital Wine School. She's a wine educator. A lot of us here at DMV, thanks to our amazing boss, Alan, and all of our great managers at DMV Distributing, really push and have a large effort for everyone to continue their wine education and learning. That way, with our videos, with our live tastings, and with really bringing and helping make wine menus, lists through our restaurants, our stores, we can do that because we actually know about wine. So thank you, DMV, and thank you, Capital Wine School.
Cheers to you guys.
To that,
Cheers
cheers.
to you. Good seeing you.
Enjoy the amore. Like I
Yeah,
said,
I just had a minute to pop in, but I was so honored you invited me to revisit. So I thought I would just give you a quick hello. How's everybody out there doing? Drinking some good wine, hopefully.
we
Always.
definitely are. We have a great setup this evening. You would love it. I don't want to make you jealous or anything, but our last wine of the evening is the Pocas Tawny 10-year.
Maybe I'll open a Pocas Tawny. I don't have a 10-year at home, but I do have a Tawny regular. So maybe I'll just indulge a little bit later on.
I also have that. I'm going to do a side-by-side tasting. So I'll drink some of that with you later. I don't know if you got any snow today, but the Tawny is going to be perfect for
a snowy night. Yeah, we got snow and then rain, and then it's supposed to start snowing again in about an hour because of the temperature fluctuation. I'm hopeful it'll get a lot of snow because my 14-month-old has not experienced a snowstorm yet, and he slept through the best part of the storm today during his playtime nap. So, poor guy. I'm hoping that we wake up to a little bit of extra snow.
Definitely. Yeah. And then I look forward to seeing pictures of him running around out there.
For sure. Yeah. He has his snow boots ready. We've tried on all the gear. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with bringing a glass of the Tawny out there with you to keep yourself
just
warm.
to stay warm. Yeah. It's just good parenting.
We'll see if anyone else can top that quote this evening. Well, Kasha, thank you so much for stopping by. We really look forward to our 2021 tastings with you. We hope to have you back in 2021. For those of you that don't know, we are switching up our virtual Vinos with DMV a little bit. They'll be hosted 2 times a month on Thursdays at 7 p.m. So they'll be on Thursday evenings twice a month. Obviously, we hope to have you back quite a bit. And we're going to have all of our great special guests, coworkers, and hopefully all of you buying our 4-packs at your local participating stores and drinking along with us, because I'm sure 2021 is going to be a lot better, but there's nothing better than learning more about wine and virtually hanging out with everybody.
Absolutely. Well, nice to see you, Alex and Devin. Thanks for having me back. I see a bunch of you guys in the chat bar too. Gina, Austin, thanks for joining us. Everybody, Jess, great to see you guys. And almost Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year almost as well.
Back at you. And remember, everyone, while Kasha's still here, you can get gift cards as holiday presents from Capital Wine School. So we'll post a link to their website as well. Get yourself, get your partner, your quarantine buddy, whatever. They have virtual tastings and
Your coworkers.
Wine
and
class,
curbside pickup, and you can do it all completely online. There can be zero contact if you want. And yeah, we'd love to see all of you guys.
Yeah. So for any family or friends of mine watching, if you're, stuck up in the air about what to get for me, wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Shameless promoting, but yeah. Well, Kasha, thanks so much for stopping by. Enjoy your moray.
Bye.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Night.
Have fun in the snow. Alex, everybody just wants to stop by and see you.
I have to say, even when your kids are 30, it's good parenting to take them outside and drink.
I completely agree with that. Well, guys, we've seen a lot of really great comments about the Masottina Prosecco. Kara's says it's delicious. Austin, I see you as well. Tawny's perfect out in the snow, bud. Absolutely. That'll be our last wine that we're going to enjoy this evening. See what Triller, so you started this pairing for me last year. This is the one I plan to pair with our Christmas Eve oysters. Absolutely. And I think one thing that's really great about especially this Prosecco, Alex, is the fact that it can pair with just about anything. Between this and our Cuvee Rosé Masottina that we're going to be tasting next, they pair with your regular meal. They pair as an aperitif of just, hey, let's open the bottle. We can celebrate with it. You can Netflix and chill with it. It's completely fine to, there are no rules with the dry Prosecco because about everyone's going to love it. It's such a high quality. And as we learned before the video, it also does not need a wine opener, which was really important earlier because we did break 2 wine openers in the background before the video started earlier. We won't get into that.
That's okay. Moving on.
Moving on. No one will know. But you don't even need a wine opener with it. So it's perfect. Just pop the bottle open, pour in your great, wine flutes and enjoy it. Now, Alex, I know that you and Kathleen, I'm sure you have great cooking during the holidays. I've gotten to know you quite well. What would you pair this Masottina Brut with over the holidays?
Wow. Well, I'll start out with what I'm going to pair it with tonight after we leave. We're going to have sushi with it, and so it'll be really good. But I love the idea of the oysters, and we do Christmas Eve oysters. We definitely will do that. Nothing wrong with roasted turkey. Oh my gosh! I mean, just everything comes to mind. Wow, seafood, shellfish, cheese. Self.
I am a really great shepherd's pie lover because I like the big, meaty, hearty dishes. And I love my vegetables, mashed potatoes, it's got all of that. This wine as well, because of the acidity in it, really pairs well with shepherd's pie also. Even any of your meatier pies and your desserts too. So if your grandma like mine loves to make, the nice cherry pies, apple pies, this wine is also going to pair well with that.
I agree that this is a perfect wine to just pull out of the refrigerator when you feel like just celebrating the 2 of us. Right, Kathy? Yeah.
She's like, I'm just glad you guys finally opened it. I was over here
exactly.
Well, guys, if you have any questions about the Masottina Prosecco, let us know. Like I said, the average price in store for the Masottina Prosecco is between $16 and $17.99 average price. It also comes in a 187 milliliter bottle as well. It's a nice glass bottle, a little plastic screw top. So you also don't need a wine opener with that. You can recycle the glass bottle after you're done with it, but it's perfect for camping or your picnics or when your children are out sledding tomorrow. Absolutely perfect with that. An average price for our 187s is $5.99 in store. And you don't have to worry about wasting it, Alex. Or you can just drink it right out of the tiny bottle. I wouldn't know, but
Yeah, I prefer the big one.
yeah. Let's be real. It's 2020. You can also drink right out of the big bottle, guys. But no, it's such a great wine. Alex, thank you so much for joining me as always this evening.
Thanks for inviting me.
Always a pleasure. You are always invited. Kathleen, I hear you in the background. Enjoy your sushi and the rest of your Masottina.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
You're welcome. Happy holidays. Cheers. All right, guys. So we are going to move on to our second wine of the evening. Same winery, Masottina. Like I mentioned, a 3rd generation family owned winery. This time we are going for the pink stuff. If you like bubbly pink wines, bubbly pink Proseccos, this is the one for you. So we're going to bring on Gina. She is a returning coworker of mine. Hey, Gina, how are you? You are muted. You're going to have to unmute. I'm confused as to why she's wearing the wine bottle costume. Even more so than why she's still muted, but it's okay.
Oops,
Hi, Gina.
technological error. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you, Devin?
Great. It's great to see you. Cheers. And I hope that you're enjoying the snow there as well. I think that this is one of my favorite wines that we actually sell with DMV, because if you know me, you know that I love a dry rosé. But what's even better is when it has some bubbles to it. So I can't wait to learn more about this wine with you tonight and chat with everyone about it. Hopefully all of you at home have it. Let us know if you do. Even if you're drinking at home, want to send us pictures later, we can repost. Absolutely go ahead and do that. I know this evening, all of you that are commenting, asking questions, you're going to be entered in to win a Lion and Dove face mask that we'll also be picking the winner of during our Tawny port at the end of the video. So keep leaving us comments, ask us questions. We're here to have fun with you guys. It kind of feels like a Friday, Gina. I know it's a Wednesday.
I know.
It's completely a Friday night to me. So
I feel like it feels like Friday more often than not lately. It's like, oh my God.
it's just
kind
every
of drag.
yeah.
It's so nice to do this on the weekday.
Exactly. So before we get into the Masottina Cuvée Rosé, Gina, I wanted to explain the difference between champagne and Prosecco. So I get asked this question all the time during live tasting. So anytime that we do, come up with our Proseccos here on our live videos, I want to quickly go through this. So pour yourselves a glass of your Masottina Cuvée Rosé. I'm going to review this with you guys. So while both the champagne and a Prosecco are, now we're going to do our rosé. This is kind of the overview of the difference between Prosecco, obviously champagne. Well, they're both sparkling white wines. Champagne is produced from Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Noir grapes grown in the Champagne region of Northeast France. There is also a taste difference with these. Usually your champagne has a lot of citrus fruit. It has white peach, white cherry, almond, a little bit of toast to it. Champagne is also usually more expensive than Prosecco because they use what's called the traditional method. It's usually more it's just more costly, whereas the Prosecco actually uses what's called the tank method. Now, the Prosecco, for example, what we're going to be drinking this evening with you all, and what we kicked off the video with, is from the Veneto region of Italy. So your champagne's made in France, your Prosecco is produced in Italy, and it's made mainly with the Glera grape. So your Prosecco also has a taste difference. Usually it's a little bit sweeter than your champagne. You're going to get also green apple flavors, honeydew, melon, pear, a little bit of honeysuckle, and some of them also have a little bit of a creaminess to them. So that's the main difference between them. Now, when Alex showed you guys the difference of, obviously, when you open the Prosecco bottle earlier, something to note, and up on our Wine Folly picture, we absolutely love Wine Folly. I love all the graphics that they use. Prosecco is usually quieter when you open it compared to champagne, just because you see the pressure difference there. Your pressure in a champagne bottle is around 100 psi, whereas the Prosecco is around 44 psi. So usually when you do open the Prosecco, and Austin knows this, remember to make sure that your finger is over it. Don't just let it sit there. I'm looking at your butt in the comments because it might just fly open all by itself just sitting there. So like I said, it's usually a little bit quieter. So even if you have children and you want to sneak open a bottle at night, open it like Alex did.
It's necessary.
And Gina. Or you can just stop it open. So main difference. If you guys have any other questions about the differences between champagne and Prosecco, let us know. We're going to get into this tasting though. And I'll let you know as Gina's kid wrangling over there now. This wine has a 90-point rating by Wine and Spirits magazine. So same.
I feel like it's underrated too.
I absolutely feel that it's underrated, and that 90 points is such a great rating, especially for a bubbly rosé. But yeah, I think it's a little low, Gina, but it's okay. I don't get paid to make wine ratings. I just get paid.
Tastes great, even late.
Exactly.
I was watching Alex's way of opening the bottle, and I realized I was a little overzealous beforehand, and I had already got everything ripped off the top. I was like, let me try what Alex says to do. But hey, it's overzealous.
Everyone learns during these virtual vinos.
That's right.
So you'll see Gina pouring it there. Gina's going to tell you a little bit more about this wine.
Yes.
And I'm just going to relax over here and enjoy it, Gina.
All right. Awesome. So the Masottina Brut Rosé. The Brut is predominantly made of Pinot Noir and Robusto grape, which is a red wine grape that is grown in the region that Devin was originally talking about, the Veneto region in Italy. And like she was saying, as far as Champagne and Prosecco is concerned, you're going to have those method of, obviously Champagne is in Champagne, France, but also the method differences as well. But you're also going to see a little bit more effervescence with your Prosecco than with your Champagne. It's said that Champagne with thin lines of effervescence is what you're trying to go for. Prosecco, on the other hand, it's going to have those a little bit more effervescence to it. But getting to the wine, what does everybody smell? It's going to have some really nice fruit-forward smell to it, maybe bright strawberry. I would say a lot of strawberry. It's definitely a nice fruit rosé. So it's going to have medium alcohol content to it as well, about 11%. And my son's watching TV in the background. That's why yeah, he's talking to the TV and I'm talking to y'all. So, but anywho, so this pink hue comes from a maceration process in the wine making. So your winemakers, to get that pink hue, they're going to use the grape skins, but instead of letting the skins soak into, let's say, like a red wine, leaving the skins on, the maceration is a light maceration. So it's about 24 to 36 hours versus obviously your red wines are going to be, a longer period of time with the red skins, and white wines being with none of that maceration process. So going taste, does anybody have Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Maybe I should start singing.
I'm here. Like I mentioned, I love rosés. I absolutely love when they have bubbles. Whatever you guys might be celebrating this week, whether it's just surviving until Wednesday, have at it. But like Gina said, it's got a really nice pale pink color to it. I always love things that kind of remind me of a watercolor. This has like a really nice light coral color. So perfect for your celebrations, your upcoming holiday meals. We're going to get to the pairings later, which there are no rules when pairing this wine. It is absolutely with everything. But like you mentioned with the nose of this wine, I get a lot of the wild strawberries you were saying, Gina, the raspberry. I also get a little bit of cherry too. I think like any kind of red berry and fruit that you can think of, this wine, every time I smell it, I smell something different.
Exactly. That's why I was going back and forth.
This, and which is really great, when you taste wine as much as we do, especially as much as I do. You guys saw the slideshow earlier. I mean, 2020, yeah.
But that slideshow was amazing, by the way.
Did you enjoy my zoom in on your wine bottle ketchup looking costume? You're welcome.
That was awesome.
But I really love the taste of this wine. It's the same price as the regular the regular Masottina Brut, but this Cuvee Rosé, it's extra dry, but it's so fruity that you're going to taste a lot of the strawberries. Exactly, Kara. It's just definitely, like I mentioned, one of my favorites. If you're going to a friend's house, there's no reason why you can't swing by your favorite store, pick up a bottle of this wine. Average price is $16.99 to $17.99 in store for this wine. I just think that
Very
it's
amazing.
one of the really it's like you said, it's underrated. It's still rated at 90 points by Wine and Spirits, but I think it should be similarly rated to its brother, the regular Brut.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
not only. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's hard to catch the right moment to dive in. I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, whoa, that's my dramatic take of it all.
I think you've been watching too much football with all of that.
That's
but
right.
No, with you guys tasting this along with us, Austin, wine has no rules, just preferences. There's some wine with rules, but yeah, it's 2020. Nothing has any rules. But I love this wine. It's one of the most versatile wines I think that we sell within the DMV portfolio. I would absolutely love even if more stores, restaurants carried it. So for those of you, especially if you have restaurants that, and even Tatiana's thing here, the color and label itself are beautiful and elegant, would make a great Xmas gift. Absolutely. No one is going to be sad that you got them this amazing bottle of wine for Christmas. Not at all. For Hanukkah, Christmas, no matter what holiday you celebrate this year, even if you don't celebrate at all, just celebrate the end of the year with this wine. Pop a bottle open, enjoy it. It's definitely one of the most versatile wines that is in our portfolio because it pairs with just about anything. Obviously, Gina, you don't have to pair it with anything at all, but this is probably one of the best wines, I think, to pair with just about any kind of food. So if you have a favorite restaurant, your favorite liquor store, tell them to carry this wine for you, no matter what you're making. During holidays, I have quite a German kind of background of family, and they enjoy their fried schnitzel, whether it's pork or chicken. This Cuvée Rosé from Masottina would be the perfect pairing with that.
And I love pairing. I would love to pair this with all types of seafood because we're seafood lovers here. I really love a great salmon. So this with salmon.
Exactly. And it's almost the same color as salmon if you think about it. So it's a perfect pairing. That would be a great marketing photo there. But even if you are into your creamy pastas, a creamy risotto with this would be amazing. Or it's holidays. So if you want to treat your special quarantine buddy or special someone with some chocolate covered strawberries, perfect pairing. You have your fruit to go along with it. You have your chocolate to go along with it. So everyone send chocolate strawberries to my address and I'm going to pair it with that.
Wait a minute. Send it to everybody's address, okay? Don't leave us out here.
I'm sorry. So guys, let us know if you're drinking the Masottina Brut Cuvée Rosé with us. Absolutely elegant, gorgeous bottle, easy to find on your shelves. We love their logo. We love the winery. It's definitely an Italian gem. I love all of their wines. As far as I know, they don't sell it in tiny bottles. We don't. So they're going to be harder to sneak in your movie theaters once they finally reopen, but that's okay. Go and have a picnic with your special someone or as your kids are sledding and, take out the big bottle with you and enjoy it.
Woo! Woo!
Gina, did you get any snow for your kids to sled in?
Say that again. Sorry.
Did you get any snow there for your kids to sled in?
No, we had rain too. So we had heavy rain. And I made the mistake in assuming there was no snow in other parts. Yeah. I'm sitting here driving, minding my business, and then boom, there's snow.
Surprise.
So, but hey,
So we have
They get-
another pairing here. I'm thinking oyster shooters with this Prosecco. Definitely Peyton.
That sounds delicious.
And that
We
is
have an oyster festival
such a-
down here every
Yeah.
year, but it got canceled due to COVID, of course. But I mean, I'm glad it did. It would be too many people gathered, so that's a good thing. But I'm sad to miss out on the oysters, of course.
I could have just sent oysters to everyone and enjoyed it. But Peyton, absolutely a great pairing with that as well. Let us know where you guys are watching and viewing from tonight. Also, like Peyton, always leave us comments, ask questions about any of these wines. We did earlier explain the difference between champagne and Prosecco for you all. If you guys need a refresher, let us know. I love this Prosecco. I can't wait to share it with more of my stores, my restaurants. We hope you guys do the same. Gina, thank you so much for joining me this evening, as always. I hope
Thanks
that
for
you have
having
a
me.
wonderful holiday. Enjoy the rest of your Masottina.
Yay!
I'm sorry you can't go out and drink it while your kids are sledding and whatnot, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, it's a struggle out here,
Well, thank you so much, Gina. I will see you soon. Take care.
All right.
We're going to be moving on to our third wine of the evening, everyone. So if you
Happy
haven't,
holidays, everybody.
thanks, Gina. Cheers.
Cheers.
Our third wine of the evening, guys, is going to be the Lion and Dove Moscato. So always a quick find on your shelves because it's got a bright blue bottle, a great, easy to find label. One of our favorites that we featured in a lot of tastings this year. It's a newer wine with Lion and Dove. We've also done great tastings with Tag Magazine all year long with celebrities from around the US and even up in Canada. And we get to this sweet white wine, and whether they first contact me and say they love really juicy, bold reds, this always ends up becoming one of their favorites. And we'll tell you why in just a few. So without further ado, here is a newer employee at DMV. Felicia, thanks so much for joining me tonight.
Hello.
It's
Well,
so
good
great
evening, everyone.
finally
How's everyone doing on the snowy Wednesday?
quite a snowy Wednesday, Felicia. Now, Felicia's going to be speaking about the Lion and Dove Moscato. If you guys have questions for comments, go ahead and leave them. Felicia, the boss might be watching, but it's okay. He might not even be listening. But how are you?
Many people can watch me possibly embarrass myself as they'd like.
Well, how are you liking it with DMV?
Oh, I'm loving it so far. It's definitely a different learning curve. I was in the restaurant industry for a way long time before this. So it's a big change, a lot of self-starting work, but I'm really loving it. I'm getting to know a lot of different people, recognizing a lot of brands when I walk into the stores, also like super comfortable now. It's a different experience when you walk into a wine store and you know what you're looking for and you know what you're going to talk about, what you want to see, and versus walking in and it's like, oh my gosh, there's 500 labels and I have no idea what I want to do here. So it's really great.
Exactly. I mean, and you know the rule, like you can only buy one that you sell.
Duh. Why would I buy another wine?
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. Well, it's so great to have you here, Felicia. So obviously you just mentioned you worked in the restaurant industry, so I definitely want your take on some pairings with the Lion and Dove, especially
For sure.
once we get to tasting it.
Sure.
I'm going to go ahead and pour mine. For those of you that might not know because you weren't with us beforehand, this is our only wine with a cork in it earlier. I have to tell everybody because
that's recorded, that deserves to go on a blooper reel.
Yeah, I wish we recorded those parts. We both broke a wine opener earlier.
In the process of opening this wine. Not to say that that's a commonality in the wine. I don't think everyone else will have as much trouble. I think we just chose the worst wine keys that we had available.
Yeah. In my defense, I have 2 feet of snow here, and all 20 of my nice wine openers are in my car. And I decided to use probably one that I've had since college. It didn't go well. I needed pliers to get the cork out.
I respect your decision to put your safety first and not have to go back outside in that.
Yeah, but then I had to go back outside in it. So after all, it was completely worthless. Lesson learned: use your good wine keys to open your nice wine, everyone. But I don't know. It's just a fluke. It's a Wednesday that we're treating like a Friday. So,
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. Every day of 2020 just needed to be a Friday anyway at this point.
absolutely. So, Felicia, I know you're going to be speaking about the line and dove a little bit. Now, as you just poured it, what was your most surprising thing about this sweet white wine?
These bubbles, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you might have caught a common theme for tonight, but there's like, it's not as much as your typical bubbly white wine. So you're not going to get this like, for me, I always think of like when you go to McDonald's and you get that crisp, right? And it's just like it shocks you for a second. This one is super easy going on your palate. So you are going to have that effervescence, but instead of it, the bubbles kind of taking over what you're doing, you just take a sip and it helps actually open up what I think are a lot of the flavors. As far as the color wise goes, it's a little off the lighter golden yellow side. And my favorites, honestly, I love Moscato. I love sweet white wines and I love bubbly. So this being the wine that I'm doing tonight is probably the best choice. I'm going to be very enthusiastic about it. But as far as line it up goes, just so you guys do know, for the people that I know that are watching and people that I don't know that are watching, we do have 7 different varietals. This is the only varietal that comes from Italy. Moscatos typically, or not typically, mostly hail and have hailed from Italy, as most of us do know. So this tonight is actually our only Italian wine. Most of our other wines do come from Chile. They're also all kosher and gluten-free, which go hand in hand. If you know anything about the Jewish community and or Passover, wines that are made kosher for Passover are all free of shemetz, which are any type of grain or bread or dough, things along that line. So it's gluten-free naturally. So anyone that has any of those dietary restrictions, this is a great wine for you. It's also 100% vegan, which means no animal byproducts, no insects, no honey byproducts are used whatsoever. So even though you're going to get some honeysuckle notes, there's no honey in this wine. That's just the smell. It just smells like that. Those are good grapes, ladies and gentlemen. But so we're going to go on to the smell of it. If you, like I said, you're going to smell some honeysuckle in there. I don't know if you guys can smell with me, if anyone else has it, but I also kind of get some pear, which is so good. It like really brightens up the palate. It's crisp, so you kind of get that nice orchard note to it, but then you also get this like childhood memory of honeysuckle trees in the springtime, and it makes you want to be outside. It's a great patio pounder, as some people have discussed it in the wine world. Maybe not the greatest discussion of it, but typically these wines are lower in alcohol content. So you might see a white wine on the shelf that could range from, 12, 15% sometimes if you have a Chardonnay. But this one, oh, sweet melon. Yeah. Sweet melon. I can definitely get the sweet melon on that. Maybe like some honeydew or some cantaloupes even. But like I was saying about the alcohol content, Moscatos are typically lower alcohol. We do have some in our portfolio at DMV if you do like to have a little heavier, but this one typically is a little bit on the lighter side. So you can kind of sip it for a long time without getting overwhelmed and not so much, you might catch a light buzz, but you're not. I don't think anyone should drink a full bottle by themselves, but if you do, if you get caught in the love with it, I mean, I don't think you're going to be too on yourself to not get anywhere. So Moscatos are a safe, easy sipping wine. They're also something just kind of good to enjoy in large crowds. Everyone can have a Moscato that they like. Now, they're typically considered sweet, but there's also some that kind of range more on the off-dry side. It's kind of weird to say that there's an off-dry Moscato because automatically you're going to think sugar, but like, yeah, 5.5%, not bad at all. So you can sip this and not feel like, oh gosh, 3 glasses. Like, no, you can have some food and you're probably going to feel good about yourself driving home somewhere because it's not going to be as heavy as one of those bigger glasses, one of those bigger reds that you might get. So I'm going to sip it because I've been really excited about doing that part. It's so amazing. So crisp, so many great flavors. Hello, welcome back. I told you I was going to be a jokester.
I just wanted to drink along with you. You were having such a blast, and then I accidentally drank about all mine already.
Yes, and it's only 5.5%, ladies and gentlemen, so she can do that and feel good and not think that she's going to get, like you said earlier, 6 glasses of you were doing the tastings. It was too much. These ones are, you could do 6 tastings of Moscato. You guys might be okay if you taste it.
It is the perfect ladies' night wine, no matter what you're pairing it with, and we'll get into that in just a few. But
the guys can have it too, you guys. 2020, we're all about equality.
Now, Kara just mentioned, that she's usually not a fan of sweet wine, but this is very good. I think that this wine speaks for itself. And like I mentioned earlier, we've done a lot of tastings with the Line and Dove Moscato this year. It's one of the newer varietals that Line and Dove has come out with. There is a Line and Dove Rosé Moscato that's going to be released next year.
Ooh, think pink, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but it's still going to be bubbly. It's going to have that little bit of effervescence. And what is better than that? I
Nothing.
think the greatest thing, Felicia, about the effervescence of this Line and Dove Moscato is that it doesn't go away. It lasts the entire bottle.
Exactly.
Those bubbles are so tiny. It's going to surprise you every time. You're just going to get a little bit of that. Oh,
just puts a smile on your face. You can't be in a bad mood drinking bubbly. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I have not poured this wine for anyone, whether we sent it to Canada with Cat Burrell from Winona Earp, The Good Witch. We were laughing about some wines the other day together. You know, they get to the sweet wine and they're like, oh, okay, I know you added that on the tasting. And usually I just want, you know, my really great, you know, robust, you know, jammy, they say, you know, Pinot Noirs.
One of my favorite words.
Yeah. And then we get to the Moscato and they're like, oh, wait. Hold up a second. This is so good. I think this is definitely my favorite Moscato I've ever tried, not even just because I sell it, everyone. Try this Moscato. It's really going to surprise you. It's the quality of it is so fantastic. Austin won't even use a glass.
Just straw. Just reusable
the,
though for the turtles.
Kids out sledding right now. Just have at it, guys. Just make sure that you we commented, do not leave your wine keys in the car. Thanks, Jess.
Don't not in a snowstorm.
You do need a wine key to open this wine. But they have electric ones now, and everybody's ordering off Amazon.
They do, and you know that Bed Bath & Beyond coupon does not expire, folks. 20% off year round.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, I really love, you know, especially when I take this wine out for tastings, whether stores, restaurants, public tastings back in the day, you know, the exotic fruits that come out of this Moscato. It's really what Moscato should taste like. Now, I was talking with you earlier before the show, Felicia, and I kind of mentioned, you know, the fact that a lot of people think that if they like sweet white wines, or, you know, if they only like sweet wine, or they only like Moscato, they don't love wine. In fact, the Muscat grape, you know, the Muscat family of grapes is one of the oldest in existence. So this grape has been used to make wine forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
years.
So you still love wine. If you only like sweet wine, props to you. You like what
some people might feel like they're late to the game on Moscato because you hear about it and it's been super popular probably since what, like 2010 going on after that. All these songs came out about it. It was super popular. People were hearing it. They wanted to buy it for their family, for their get-togethers, for their gatherings. I mean, for a while, I would say that Moscato, at least especially people I knew, parties, graduation, celebrations, Moscato was the new way of going. Like, yes, you can always have your Prosecco's, you can always have your Bruts, and they're always going to be delicious and amazing. But Moscato is just, it puts a smile on everyone's face. And there's no one that's going to say, oh, that's too bubbly for me. Sir, if you've ever had club soda, this isn't too bubbly for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that, you know, the skyrocketing phase of Moscato in the early 2010 era was really helpful by
hello, see, I'm a Moscato lover, ladies and gentlemen.
I think she smells it. It's really helped by the hip hop industry, and a lot of people thought, oh, okay, well, you know, it's so popular. It was one of the best selling wine varietals in the States for years, and it is still one of the top. This is from working from home, everyone. You know, they tapered off a little bit for a few years, and then in 2015, over 20 million people in 2015. This was a great fact I found about Moscato. In 2015, over 20 million people were buying Moscato within 3 months. So in a 3-month period, you had 20 million people drinking Moscato.
That's a lot of Moscato. And that's a lot of happy people. Exactly. A lot of happy people.
No matter what, you know, whether they were having, like you said, you know, it's one of your first wines that you start drinking, whether in college, no matter the brand, it is one of those first introductory wines of sweetness. And then usually your palate goes to the drier. But this is one, I love dry wines, and I love this Moscato. So I can't
absolutely enough about. And not to mention, it's just an incredible value for being, it's considered top 10 for under $15 a bottle from a 2020 World Wine Value Challenge. And I mean, for under $15 to get something that's this flavorful, like the flavors aren't overly complex, but say you were having like a Fra Diavolo for dinner, if you're at an Italian restaurant, little spicy pasta, that spice, that sweetness, those two are going to go hand in hand. I love seafood. I love raw fish. So maybe like a tuna tartare or something like that, like a nice spicy kick, anything to go with that sweetness to kind of balance with the two. I personally don't think that poultry dishes or things like that would really pair well with it, only because you think poultry, I think butter, I think creamy, I think, and a lot of that butter and sweet, I mean, it's a bakery, but it might be, it's a little heavy for me. So I'm saying if you're going to have this with dinner, you can always have it with what I consider to be spicier dishes, or, you know, lighter appetizers that just might not have too much of a rich creaminess. You really want something light. You really want something crisp. And even citrus will go really well with this, because anything, you know, if it's too bitter, this might, you know, cleanse that palate for you, give you that next pairway onto your next meal, you know. It's a good time.
Yeah, I completely agree. So those of you that are thinking about your upcoming holiday meals, whether you're having them now, you're, you know, waiting for Christmas next week, which is crazy to say. I don't even understand. But, you know, this is one, especially even just to enjoy while you're making your dinners. It's light enough alcohol content, no matter what family members you might have over, friends, families. You know, obviously, we always recommend doing it safely in 2020. But this is one that everyone's going to enjoy. So,
For
this
sure.
is my wine lover, Felicia. You even like the sweet wines. You
For
love
sure.
it. Everyone can share it. It's vegan, it's kosher, it's gluten-free. So that means literally everyone can share this wine.
Everyone.
Everyone.
This cannot, no one can tell you they're not satisfied by this wine. They're just lying to you, and they want to be different. And that's okay, but they're wrong. They are wrong about this wine.
Exactly. Average price in store for this wine, guys, in Maryland and around DC, $11.99 in store average price. So same with, you know, the bottles that you've been drinking for about $8 or $9, your favorite Moscatos for years. Just pay that extra couple bucks for the quality of this Moscato. It's worth it.
Knocking out of the park. I mean, this is a home run. Baseball season, we're going to be indoors, folks. You might as well have some of this with you. Cheer you up.
Yeah, I completely agree, Felicia. And like you mentioned, especially for a sweet white wine, those are never highly rated in, you know, point wise. Tell me the last sweet white wine that you saw with a rating number on it. I'll wait.
Couldn't tell you.
Couldn't tell you. This is rated 89 points. So it's an 89 point white wine.
Silver medal.
Silver medal winner. And like you mentioned, it was labeled one of the top 10 white wines for $15 and under this year, which is crazy. It's a sweet white wine. It's so good that all those accolades with this wine. I think we've sold it, Felicia.
Yeah, I mean, if not, it's a steal. You guys should, I mean, you have to be running to your stores to buy this after the broadcast, please. After the broadcast.
yeah, exactly. Tomorrow safely with snow or whatever. Definitely find yourself a bottle. But this is a brand that's not going away. It's growing so fast. You know, it's locally owned in Maryland. This is a wine brand locally owned in Maryland. Like Felicia stated earlier, this varietal of Lion and Dove is produced in Italy, but it's locally owned. So you're also supporting your local fellow citizens by buying this wine and enjoying it. And you're going to enjoy it.
What's better?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Felicia, I think all your pairings were spot on. I think this is definitely one of my favorite wines, especially at this moment to sell, to show at tastings, especially even if just for the simple surprise that people feel when I used to do public tastings and they were buying a ton of the dry reds from me. And I was like, well, hold on, get this one for dessert though. And surprise, always loved it. They always bought it. So you know.
And you're gonna find people that Moscato, like myself. You can give me a glass of Moscato before dinner, during dinner, after dinner. I mean, if it's there, I'm gonna have it.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Exactly. Austin, we're sorry it doesn't come in cans yet, so you can't go mini golfing or anything carrying your Lion and Dove Moscato can around. But you know, maybe
they've definitely got wine koozies. You could work something out. You could put this bottle with you.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Felicia, it was such a pleasure for you to join me tonight.
I hope
to see more of you in 2021 on Virtual Vino with me. Maybe someday all of us coworkers can get back together again and
one day
see each other and meet each other. But thank
Alan,
you.
if you're watching, we need a party. No, I'm just kidding.
Just test everyone first, then we need a holiday party.
For sure, for sure. Well, have a great rest of your night. I look forward to learning all about the next wine.
Absolutely, Felicia. Cheers and thank you.
Cheers.
Clink. Well, guys, as always, if you have more questions about the Line and Dove Moscato, let me know. Felicia is such a great guest. Hope to have a lot more of her in 2021 here on Virtual Vino with us. Like I mentioned earlier, we're switching it up a little bit next year with our timing of Virtual Vino. It'll be on 2 Thursdays a month instead of every Friday. So 2 Thursdays a month at 7 p.m. instead. So be on the lookout for all of our great special guests, my coworkers on with us, but same as this year, and we showed you the slideshow earlier, we have guests from all around the world that join. We love them all and hope to bring you more wine knowledge, some more wine fun, because, you know, at the end of the day, our main goal here is to have fun and learn about wine. So without further ado, we are moving on to our fourth and final wine of the evening. Now, we tasted some ports a couple weeks ago, but this time we're going to taste the Pocas 10-year port. Now, my coworker that's joining me tonight, I know she filled in for me recently when I was really sick, so I want to give her a huge shout out for stepping in last minute. And what you guys might not know is that she's always in the background of all of these. So she has sacrificed a ton of time helping out with arranging all of our special guests, the production from the background. She's the person that is always chiming in with fun comments and links for you guys in the comment area. So Jess, join me. Let's drink some delicious Tawny port. I'm sorry that you didn't get any snow today to enjoy with me, but I did. So it's perfect Tawny time.
I got lots of mud. So, you know, we got lots of mud, which great. My mud had just about dried up. So, you know, now it's back to being mud again. I was a little worried that it's going to be dry. And
oh,
so,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Dogs. So,
I mean, my kids like the mud, so that works out.
Yeah.
But yes, I am super excited to try this Tawny port tonight, and I just want to thank everybody. Thanks Felicia and Alex and Gina for joining tonight. It's been super fun. Thank you, Devin, for doing this every night, pretty much, except for like 3 or 4 since lockdown started back in March, which seems like ages ago. But so this Tawny port, I'm going to leave you on, so we're both on because we can both drink it together. I don't need to be.
First,
yes.
First,
so
Jess,
I love this Tawny port because it comes
last time. I don't know. Nobody else can see Jess in the background during our videos. I just want to give a shout out to what happened to Jess the last time I tasted 2 ports in a video with Kasha. And then you can get on with it.
Yeah. So I think that what I'll start off saying is that a typical port glass, because port is a high alcohol wine. So this port is 20% by volume alcohol wine. A typical port glass is this size. It's very small. My husband poured my port in this glass and did basically a full pour. So that was a really fun evening for all of us. It was great. I don't know what the comments looked like at the end. I was probably jumping them on and off. But that said, the Pocas 10 years old Tawny. So I recommend drinking your port slowly and in small glasses. That's what I recommend because it's really delicious, and you might have a tendency just to drink the whole giant glass at 20%.
Dive right on.
The 10-year-old Tawny comes in this awesome case, which I just absolutely love. Pocas does some really good marketing for them, but this alone makes it sort of like a great gift. I absolutely love it. And then the wine itself. So the 10-year-old Tawny is a 91 points with Wine Enthusiast. The vines age for these wines are between 20 and 40 years. And port is grown primarily in the Douro region. So I'm going to pull up a picture real quick of the Douro region of Portugal. You can see right up there on the top right, in top right in the sort of dark purple is the Douro Valley. And that is where port comes from. And port is delicious. It is a sweet wine. It was really created, sorry, for some reason it's being weird. I couldn't take the picture down. It was really created back in the day as a way to preserve wines and grapes because the preservation methods in yesteryear were not as good as they are now. So by adding some alcohol and different things you could do to make a port, it helped preserve it. So sorry. So this port is includes Touriga Nacional, Touriga Franca, Tinta Ruiz, Tinta Barroca, and Tinta Cao, which are some of the most famous grapes in Portugal. Certainly the Touriga Nacional is. And it's only in that Douro region that wines can be labeled port. It has a really nice tawny color. I don't know if you can see that. I need a piece of white paper like that. You can see really nice tawny color. It's beautiful, and it is a tawny port. And if you have it, I recommend pouring it and just taking a nice whiff of it. Now, the one thing about port is because it is so high alcohol, you don't want to just, with a regular wine, you're really going to just take it and just put your nose right into it. You don't really want to do that with port. As Kasha said when we were taking our wine class, you sort of want to surprise your port when you're smelling it, because otherwise you're going to get a nose full of alcohol fumes, and that just burns and it doesn't smell
That was
good.
one of my favorite parts. Just kind of sit on the corner and surprise it.
Surprise your port. So you really want to smell it from the outside, really come up on it, and oh man, it has such an amazing nose of dried fruits, dried raisins, obviously dried raisins, dried grapes, raisins. There's some fruit in there, maybe some cherry in there. Just has such an amazing nose. So take a second. Port's one of those wines you really want to just enjoy the smell and just, before you taste it. And then you want to taste it. And
now you might see me being weird over here because I'll just always do what I want. I actually have the 3-year Pocas Tawny Junior Port, which you can tell is darker. So first, the color difference because of it's matured for a longer period of time, an average of 10 years with all these blends that we're tasting this evening. See the difference here? 3-year, 10-year. So you see a really great difference there. This has more of a lighter tawny color to it, where this is also, it has around the rim, it's getting that lighter color tawny, but obviously darker. The smell as well, Jess, that you'll explain. This also has a more woody smell to it as well. It has more of like a dried plum smell also, the 10-year that we're tasting this evening. So I think it's really interesting. And I'm glad I grabbed that bottle out to compare.
you know what, I actually do have some of my tawny, my 3-year tawny. I should have gone over and picked that up too, because that is a really good, it really is interesting when you compare, if you start trying different ports and the different years, and an LBV, which is a late bottled vintage. Port is just, it's so neat the way they blend the different grapes together and the wines and how it ages and what the oxidation does. It's really, port is really a lesson in winemaking and in what can happen to the flavor of a wine as it ages, as it gets a little bit of oxidation, as it changes. So it's actually, I love port. And I will say that I have been dealing in wine for a really long time, and my sister has always been a huge port fan. And I sort of was like, oh, that's Kara's wine. That's what she likes. And now, and I've really grown into really liking them. That's the cool thing about wine. You can just, you're constantly changing. Your palate changes and you learn new things, and it's really cool. This port for a 10-year-old, I think, tastes very mature. It's a really nice, mature.
It does. Now, Pocas also has, and we sell to your favorite stores, your liquor stores around Maryland, DC, a 20-year-old as well as 30. But this 10, especially for the price, it's an average price of $20.99. So $30 a bottle in store. This wine is so smooth. Yeah. It's very sophisticated tasting, but it's, like James said, very smooth. We have another comment here. This one is shockingly good. I like it alone. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to pair this with anything. This is a really great wine where even if you just throw a dried orange peel in there, absolutely perfect.
So good. Actually, Trelaure introduced me to using port in old fashions, and it is really good. It's amazing, and this would be really good. What I also like about this one is that even though it's 20% alcohol, you don't get that alcohol burn that you might get from some other ports. You know, it's so smooth. It's so, I mean, and when you taste it, so as Alex was saying in the beginning, so when you're tasting wine, you want to get it in there and you want to swish it around a lot and really let it fill your mouth. And sometimes when you do that with a port, because it is so high alcohol, it can burn. And this one, you don't. You feel the alcohol in the background, but it finishes really dry, and then the flavor just lasts. It really finishes. It is a wonderful finish.
Yeah. Now this is ideally served as dessert. I say it can also be ideally served as lunch during a snow day. So that'll be me tomorrow. Cheers on the clock, boss, if you're watching.
Also fantastic with or over ice cream. A little bit of over top of ice cream.
Yeah. And you can serve
I do love it paired with like a brie. Oh, like a good brie or yeah. With nuts. I mean, it has some almond flavor in it. So pairing it with some nuts that are not almonds, like walnuts and that type of thing, like a honeyed walnut with this is fantastic. It's so good. I just really like this. It's also fantastic for those of you that do Christmas puddings. Pairing this with a Christmas pudding is really, really nice. And you can actually even use the port. It won't get quite the flame that you will with a brandy, but you can use the port as the topping for the Christmas pudding, and it adds a really nice complexity to Christmas pudding. So if you are looking for a great port, something for the holidays, something for yourself, or something for a gift, this one, I mean, at $30 a bottle is a fantastic for yourself or for a gift. I really, really love it.
Definitely. I would get it, slap a big bow on there. Now, Jess, I know one of the questions that we get a lot about ports is after you open the bottle, they are different from the other wines that we've tasted this evening, where you only get a few days to finish that bottle. How long would this 10-year port last?
If you keep it refrigerated, a Tawny port will last, it'll last a month at least. It really, I mean, if you can last it a month, it will last a month. I have a hard time having it last for a month.
Yeah.
As Alan says in the
end of week.
Exactly. As Alan is saying in the comments, dark chocolate. So, every night a little port glass with a little bit of dark chocolate, especially during the holiday season when maybe you're a little bit stressed out, it's a perfect nightcap, as they say.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. I really appreciate my sister for, really and helping me learn to like ports, and then for DMV for having some fantastic ports. We really have some great ports.
Oh, completely. I have tried quite a few ports in my life, not many, because I always thought that it was a thing that I wasn't that interested in. But lo and behold, it was just because I'd never had any good ports. So thank you, Pocas and DMV, for introducing me to these, because they are really fantastic. And the value, just like you mentioned, is so great for the price. I mean, and that's what we're all about here at DMV. That's why we've loved to bring you these videos all year round, is because of the fact that our quality price ratio is so great with all of these wines that we bring to the DC area, Maryland, Delaware, shortly. So, it's great wine. You can buy with confidence, and you can buy not breaking the bank and knowing that you're still getting a really great deal on a wine that you're going to take home and you're going to love.
Exactly. And, Trelaure says we've honestly kept our Tawny port open, and I will agree. I've kept Tawny ports open for quite some time, and it'll oxidize and it'll change a little bit, but I mean, there's still a good port like this one will really last. Alex said in our comments here, it makes a superb port reduction, and that is very true. It makes a fantastic port reduction. Sometimes it's hard to cook with a port that's as delicious as this, but it really is a great port.
Yeah.
If anyone else out there is drinking it, what else are you tasting? That's what I'd like to hear.
Yeah.
What are you
let us know.
Tasting and feeling?
See if
this is my sister. She says it's a wonderful port, so I'm glad that I gifted her a bottle today.
Okay. And she got the 10-year, right? Make her get you the
Yeah, she got the 10-year.
Oh, great.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. Like you mentioned, I mean, you can pair it with just about anything, but it is now I'm doing a side by side with the 3-year and 10-year. The 3-year is absolutely fantastic, but I can taste the difference of this 10-year. The price value and change difference is absolutely worth the taste difference of this wine.
Yeah.
It'll also last a little bit longer in bottle because it is matured for a little bit longer. However, it's not going to last that long in the bottle because you're going to drink it quite quickly.
Right, exactly.
Now, someone's tasting figs. Yeah, it's
Ooh.
got that nice, very woody, natural taste within this. Obviously, you know, it is now all of these grapes that Jess mentioned earlier that make up this wine, they're all hand harvested. Now, the vines that those grapes are manually harvested from are between 20 and 40 years of age. So they're not just very young vines either. Those are fairly older vines, considering that in the Douro region, they are making your delicious port like this.
Exactly.
So I think that that's also kind of what brings that earthiness to the grapes that that make this great wine. Absolutely love it.
I would say that it's also, I mean, it's a great by the fire wine, you know, whether you're, oh, there's a child. Hello, child.
You got it. Yeah, somebody was doing jumping jacks behind you a few minutes ago. You
The
just
6-year-old always likes to come in and just make sure, you know, he'll stay away for the whole show until I'm on, and then he'll.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just that because it is aged and it's so smooth, it's just a great, I mean, it really is just fantastic by itself too. So I highly recommend, if you haven't tried this port, getting it. If you need a little 2020 has been 2020 treat, this is a treat to get. So it makes James want to light a cigar. I don't smoke cigars, but if I did smoke cigars, I can see how that would really.
I would pair it with this.
Pair that with that for sure.
Well, I think all in all, with the 10-year Pocas Tawny port, we suggest pairing it with just about all of your delicious desserts, cheese, nuts. If you just have to YouTube your fake fireplace or on Netflix, put your fake fireplace up, pair it with that, perhaps.
Exactly.
Or your real fireplace. Hopefully you have one of those.
I've seen some great deals on fake real fireplaces. So
yeah, exactly. And the fake real fireplaces that you get, they have all sorts of things. Well, let us know if you guys have any more comments, questions this evening. Now, Jess, I know you're always in the background choosing a random winner of our Line and Dove Facebook mask. So we'll have you do that again tonight, but you're just on camera.
Right. So while I'm working on choosing the random winner, one thing we forgot to talk about with the Moscato was the label. And I posted a little link. So if you want to talk a little bit about the Moscato, then I will randomly comment pick.
Sure. Now, you'll see in the comments if you guys scroll up, and we can repost it as well. So the Line and Dove label was designed by a local Virginia tattoo artist. So still keeping it East Coast here. Like we mentioned, Line and Dove is also a company that is a wine brand that's owned locally in Maryland. And the label, as we said, where's my bottle here? Love the label. Looks great. You'll see us reps running around with the jackets. Thank you, DMV and Line and Dove, with the great label. Designed by a local tattoo artist in Virginia. I always get compliments when I take this wine out for the great label. It's very sophisticated looking. It's very clean and fun. All the wines and bottles are different colors. So people love it. And all the varietals are absolutely fantastic. So like we always say, if your favorite brewery now, because we can sell to some breweries our wines, I want to give Antietam Brewery a shout out in Hagerstown, Maryland. You can find all varietals of the Line and Dove at Antietam Brewery. Buy the glass or bottle there. So if you like craft beer and your husband and or wife doesn't, that's okay. They have wine now. So we want to give them a shout out. And if your favorite places, your restaurants, liquor stores don't have the Line and Dove, tell them to contact us at DMV Distributing, and we'll make sure that they get it, because you're going to love all of those wines as well.
Exactly. And actually, speaking of our wines, one thing we don't want to forget, we were hoping that maybe Yana would be able to join us tonight, but it is the middle of the night in Spain. So just wanted to bring up really quickly the Guru Verde which today Wine Spectator announced that it is one of the 2020 top values for big reds. So that is one of our favorite wines here at DMV. And for those of you who have watched past tastings, Yana has come on, Ego Bodegas has come on a number of times, and they're a great winery that we work with. And it's really exciting for them to get this recognition. And if you have not tried the Ego Bodegas Humila Goro Verde 2018, you should definitely try that. That is a fantastic holiday wine as well. It's got a kind of really cool label there, and it's a great price for such a fantastic wine as well. As you can see here, the suggested retail price is $15. Around here, I think you can actually find it for a little bit cheaper, so that's exciting. And so I'm not writing in the thing. I just did the random comment picker, and actually it's going to be really easy for you, Devin, because it is Angela Racy Zager who won.
So congrats, Angela. You won a Line and Dove face mask. Make sure that you comment, and we'll send DMV Distributing your contact info so they can get you your face mask.
Yes,
Well, Jeff, it was so fun to actually taste wine with you tonight.
I know. It was very fun.
Been in the background, and we've met a lot of different people. We showed our slideshow earlier. We have tasted a lot of great wines this year and had a lot of fun and learned a lot, especially a lot about wine,
very fun.
About our different vineyards, wineries that we sell for all around the world. It's been great. I'm glad that we did our virtual Vinos. And honestly, those of you that are joining, watching, and supporting Virtual Vino with DMV, we couldn't continue doing it without you guys. So we hope to see you again in 2021. It'll be 2 Thursdays a month at 7 p.m. So keep a lookout. Follow at Line and Dove Wines and follow at DMV Dist on Instagram, Facebook. Keep up to date with all of our fun activities and events. I'm thinking we're going to do some fun music still in 2021. We're going to bring our winemakers, our winery owners in. Why not do it safely? And you can drink and not have to drive and just learn about wine with us.
Exactly. And it's going to be, the first one will be on January 28th. And because it's going to be 2 times a month, we're kind of focusing it on as a wine club. So, you know, if you're really interested in learning about wines and trying new wines, you know, sign up. Or not sign up, but, you know, get the wines every other week and join us. And it'll be really fun. And we're going to do some really great wines. And I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. So I think we will bring on Felicia and Gina and Alex just to say goodbye. If you guys are there, make sure that everyone's looking before they turn around. Thanks to all of you for
it's basically a wine book club.
Yes, exactly. It's a wine book club. Exactly. And we hope to have you join us, and maybe even get some of our guests that are drinking the wines to come on screen with us and talk about the wines as they're tasting them, and you're making more interactive. So
absolutely.
Here we go. We'll just do a little goodbye with Alex, Gina, and Felicia. Get all of us on here.
Hey guys.
All right. So, everybody.
Thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Cheers from DMV. You guys.
Cheers from DMV. Both all of us on screen and everybody off screen too. We love you guys. Happy New Year. Here's to a better 2021.
I'll drink to that. Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.